Okay. All right. So,
Hello.
Hello.
Hey guys, how's everything going?
how's it going?
Fine.
Fantastic. All right. Well, let's have welcome to the show, the Twill Happy Hour. Where's everyone at? Everyone, and now kind of introduce yourselves and tell the watchers where you're at.
Sure. Maybe I'll start. So Tim Betts here. I'm with Summit Blockchain Inc. and also part of PAC Global. And I'm calling you from, I guess, kind of a warming up Southern California.
Nice. Nice.
I am. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go on.
I'm Robin Matthes. I'm also from PAC Global. I organize a lot of charitable projects as well as blockchain conferences called the Washington Elite AI and Blockchain Summits. And currently we're together with Roland van Reenen and Klarvin, who are both based in Curacao, same as me. We're busy building and setting up food forests around the island.
Okay. Now, what island is that again? You broke up.
It's called Curacao. It's right next to Aruba.
Oh, no. That sounds like a terrible sacrifice to be done.
Horrible.
Well, I'm Jared. This is David, and we're in Utah. You guys don't have to wane jealousy. We know. It's
Good skiing.
So you guys know Liberland, right?
Dave is very familiar with Liberland.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, they're basically our biggest sponsor after Summit Blockchain, who is on the call with us, Tim Betts. And our other sponsor is Curacao, which is basically a DAO for Curacao.
Now you're gonna have to explain some of these terms to our listeners. So consider us kind of like crypto novice here. So PAC Global. Can you explain to our listeners what it is that your company does and accomplishes?
Let's finish the introductions first with Roland and Klarvin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Roland. Go.
Yes, let's start. My name is Cijintje. I'm based in Curacao. I'm owner of the land that we are currently making a Syntropic forest. And I'm sitting here with Roland. Roland van Reenen is the one that is the expert from the tree. He can introduce himself.
All right.
Hi guys, I'm Roland van Reenen, and during the last 5 years I specialized myself in food forestry, especially syntropic food forestry.
So now, food forestry is what does that entail?
We're essentially replicating a rainforest, but with fruit trees and vegetable trees. And while the fruit trees take their time to grow, we can already continuously harvest the vegetables. And because of the rainforest-like structure, because you don't go around watering a rainforest, you don't go around spraying it with any pesticides either, it basically, you're going to see that there's going to be an improvement in the soil. We will get to that in a later part of the interview. You're going to see a reduction in the need of water by the system. And we don't need to use pesticides and fertilizers only in the beginning, but we'll use natural fertilizers. Roland can elaborate on this in great detail as he is our food forest expert.
Okay. Now, the natural fertilizers, are you
So the fertilizers, amongst others, we have banana trees, a lot of them that provide potassium, and we're using what they call mulch, which is basically biomass that comes from trees, and we just put it on the ground, and organic material. Roland, can you pick up from here to explain a bit the benefits of food forestation?
Yeah. If you look towards fertilizers, they're mostly built on three basic sources, which is nitrogen, potassium, and phosphor. And we use this living plants to provide that. So we plant a lot of trees. We call it biomass trees that provide, for instance, a lot of nitrogen. And nitrogen is the most source fertilizers. Mostly the animal fertilizers are used for that, but we can plant trees as well, so that we don't have to bring in no fertilizers, because fertilizers growing in the system. We call those food for our food. And as Robin mentioned already, the bananas are used for potassium. So if you cut down a banana tree, we don't plant bananas only for the bananas, of course, but also for the biomass, for the potassium that they provide. And also phosphor can be we can plant palm trees for that. They provide the phosphor. So we have the fertilizers covered up in by trees that we planted.
Well, that's nice. So the banana trees, and not only from the fruit will you get the potassium to put into the ground, but you'll also get it from the leaves and probably the deadfall that comes from it. I wasn't aware that the deadfall of a banana tree would have a lot of potassium, but that's really interesting. And where are you guys? Do you guys have like for your mulch? Do you have, I guess what you call is a rolling and drying farm?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question good.
Where
The
you?
last part of the question.
Yeah, where you?
That part of the question.
Do you have a rolling and drying farm for the mulch, or is it kind of coming from the community? Or?
Oh, no.
We bring the mulch in externally in
from gardeners. Yeah, and those gardeners bring it to us, and we can use it. We can use it on a very with huge quantities. So we lay, for instance, 20 centimeters of mulch on the soil, but the biomass trees we planted until they take over this.
And then they manage mulching.
So I hear a lot of echo. So
are you hearing an echo?
I don't know what's.
I'm not hearing anything from no echo.
Okay.
If I can add too, the mulch is basically used in the beginning, and what's so good about our regenerative agroforest is after you do the initial planting, you're doing a lot of pruning of the trees and that sort of thing, and it's all about improving the soil quality. So when you're pruning the trees, you're getting the green matter. And then that basically takes the place of having to use fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big benefit. And the other big benefit is in that we're doing different species that are complementary to each other versus a monoculture or single crop farm, which are really what's out there today. We're all familiar with a farm that does corn or potatoes. It's a single crop. The problem with that,
one basic nutrient all the time.
Yeah, and that's it. But the issue you have with that, and obviously those serve a great purpose, but insects typically operate by their smell. So they're able to smell what it is, and if they like it, they're going to come in and eat your plants if you don't have pesticides. We have these complementary plants that basically confuse the insects, and they don't come and devour our plants because they're confused. They don't really know what it is. And that really works to allow us not to require pesticides and that sort of thing. So we're truly organic as well in our ecosystem. So again, no fertilizer, no pesticide, and even the water, and Roland can talk to this further, but even the water requirements decrease over time as well.
That's I like that. I like that you're using plants to manage both the pesticide issue, which is extremely unhealthy for the consumer at the end, even and you're also using for the ground nutrients.
Maybe I can explain a little bit more about it.
There is a little bit.
Be a problem.
Yeah, now we have a bit of a connection problem.
Yeah.
So how long do you have to artificially fertilize or mulch the territory before the forest can take hold and do that?
The mulching includes also that we don't bring the mulch in from outside anymore.
Yeah. I don't know what that noise is. Apologize.
I think Roland has a bit of a connection issue. So in the beginning, we bring a lot of mulch into the land. There is this rule that says no bare soil.
Mhm.
And then after that, you prune the trees all the time. And then they come up harder and harder each time. So we're actually doing the trees a favor, because if you drop the leaves, they can use the water that they're sucking up to shoot out harder. And
Yeah.
then that goes right on the ground. And we also, like Roland mentioned, have biomass trees like neem tree that grows really fast. But because it grows really fast, you can just cut, and you start. Aside from just the leaves, we also put branches along each row that will stimulate the growth of fungi that also kind of functions as a communication system underground for the trees. There's a lot of studies about this. It's very interesting. Also behind me you can see a food forest that is about 2 years in the making.
Okay.
That's from Australia. It's just an example that you get a bit of an impression what it looks like.
I like it. How labor intensive is it?
Roland calls it labor extensive because you need decreasingly less labor being put into it. At some point, because the drippers take care of the irrigation, right? And you just have to prune and harvest. That's basically it. And you don't have to replow the entire land every time that you start anew. You don't have to buy a bunch of pesticides, buy a bunch of fertilizers, and get a bunch of seeds, because you cultivate everything that grows in the food forest, and you can just replant it. Like the vegetables have to be replanted every cycle, if you will. But radishes, for example, those already harvest after a month. And but we plant them each week a few seeds. So then each week you get a few harvests of those. And then a couple of weeks later, you're also going to start seeing other harvests coming in that are also going to be kind of really. So then you get like this continuous harvest stream that's basically a cycle. And then you start over once the bananas start giving their fruits after like 9 months or up to a year and 2 months. And at that point, you've already gained a lot of soil that is basically improving the land on the farm.
I like it, and I like that your farm is has trees in it, because that adds that canopy that replenishes the oxygen and kind of
The biodiversity that
Yeah.
makes it all sustainable.
I like it.
So
Oh, we've lost your sound.
so can you explain how much land would it take to make this edible forest for a project, for example? Like what are the stats for sizes and land mass that you require for this project?
So the land mass isn't relevant. Roland just finished setting up a community garden in the middle of the city in Curacao this Saturday, and it's 14 times 14 meters, which is if you do a meter times 3, you got feet. So it's about 50 times 50 feet, and it's perfectly sustainable. Roland, can you say something? See if we can hear you now.
Yeah, but the sound is very bad, so I didn't hear the question.
If I can add, and I apologize, him being out. Actually, he's out on a farm right now.
Hey,
So,
Yeah,
but-
now not really at the farm. 1 minute from the farm is sitting on the seaside.
I like
Caribbean Sea behind us.
band, and
oh, there we go.
you're getting a little bit of maybe a little bit of a drink going on and a live band. I like it.
Yeah. I was just going to
If you can
add.
repeat the question, I can.
Yeah, I can repeat the question really quick. They asked how much land do you need to build a successful food forest, basically.
Oh, from 1 square meter to the unending size. So right now, the founder of the originator of the Syntropic forestry and Dutch from Brazil is doing complete provinces in China, so the states in China.
So they're building one in China right now. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
huge farms. So it can
Really?
be
Like the size of a
not really
state.
important. Of course, the bigger the better.
Oh yeah. Like the size of a state. We're talking millions of acres, maybe. Oh no.
Yes, it's possible also.
Yeah, and China needs it. Hopefully they build it about, I don't know, 7 inches outside of Beijing and clean that up a little bit.
One of the most interesting things for us here in Curacao is we are a dry country. So we got deforested in the 17th century.
Uh-huh.
That makes the rain disappear, and so we got a very dry climate, and also the ground level is lowering, and it means that water is an issue here. So if we got to buy water, then farming is not an option. Then it's too expensive to earn money from it. So this system is reducing the water use very drastically over time. For instance, we created a system 7 months ago, and from twice a day irrigation we lowered it to once in 14 days. So we even increasing it to 20 days, one to 20 days. It means
But
that even banana trees, which are very water needed, which need a lot of water, are using water once in 20 days. In our climate, which is very dry and very hot and very windy.
Well, we need you to come up to Utah, but did you just say from in the beginning going from twice a day down to once every 14 days?
One time every 20 days, because the mulch, all of the leaves hold the water.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. It's not only the mulch, yeah. It's a complete system.
The complete
It's a
system.
system that's the soil is covered. That's one. But also so what you see on the images behind Robin, you see that there are layers in the system. We call it strata. And if there's one layer missing in the strata in the forest, then it's not a forest, and it's still an unbalanced system. That means that the water will disappear. So if there's wind blowing through the system, the water will be evaporated. If all the stratas, all the layers are occupied, that means the water stays in the system. And you see also a lot of grass growing, and the grass is central for this. It keeps the soil covered, and also it will cool down the system and make condensation possible. In our climate, you don't see no condensation because of the heavy winds, and because of the way the system is set up with the grass and the layers, the water won't be evaporated that much. But if it evaporates, it's met cooler circumstances, so the water will condensate. So that means that the water will stay in the system, not getting away. That's the
Yeah.
reason why we can minimize our irrigation.
So what I'm hearing is that your next project should be up here in Utah, and
It's nice and dry here.
yeah, it's very dry here, and we should come hang out and join in.
Well, if I can say, this can be done in all different climates. So, it is a little dry, but you get a bit of a rainy season, I believe, in Curacao, where we've kicked this off. But this can be done in the desert, in the mountains, and just about anywhere you could think of.
Literally on rocks. You just start mulching and then you build on top of that.
Really? Well, that's good, because we could do it here in Tooele County then, because
It wouldn't.
yeah, we got a lot of rocks in our soil right here because of when the Great Basin was formed by the end of the Ice Age. Tend to drop a lot of rocks right along through this valley.
I think our rocks reproduce.
Yeah.
So what is your current project right now? Like, what are you guys? Where are you guys working at the current moment, and on what kind of fruits and vegetables?
So we just finished setting up a farm on the 26th and 27th of June. And that's on a bit over half a hectare. And one hectare is 2.5 acres. We have about 100 banana trees there and 100 trees of different species, amongst which soursop, aguacate,
Citron.
Lime. orange.
Roland knows what we planted much better than me.
Yeah. So, and just named a few: coconut, lime, orange, tangerine,
Cashew.
cashew, sour sop, sweet sop.
We got
Just to
coconut,
mention a
lime,
few.
orange,
Cashews.
tangerine, cashew, and what was after that?
Sour sop, I believe.
Sour sop. Sour sop is the most delicious food there is in this earth.
Really? And it's called sour
My
salt?
favorite, my personal favorite. So,
Yeah, I really
just
like it
want to
too.
invite you guys to if you ever eat a sour sop food, then you'll never
Sour sop, I think. Yep.
sour
I
sop.
really like the juice of sour sop.
Sour
sop.
sop. Okay.
But those are only the trees I mentioned. But the thing is, we earn the investment in the trees. We earn back with the vegetables that start producing within weeks. For instance, cucumbers, we produce after 5 weeks. We produce the first cucumbers, and melons will be coming shortly after. So normally, if you plant trees, you have to wait for years to get your harvest. So that means that you're always in those years investing in those trees. You invest water, you invest labor, you invest fertilizers to get those trees going. But here, the same water we give to the trees are used to grow vegetables. So we're not using more water to grow those trees, but we give water to the vegetables and the trees will profit from it. So that means that the system is very energy and labor extensive, like Robin said earlier already.
So what you've
And
got
the
is you've got different
vegetables could be, sorry?
different items that you like. You've got some items planted in there that you'll harvest a couple times this year that'll aid in paying for the stuff that takes more time put into it, say such as the trees.
Exactly. But we got two different vegetable systems. Got two different. We got the vegetables in 3 rows. That's what I mentioned earlier. So we planted, for instance, cassava, and we planted tomatoes, and we planted corn, and we planted beans in between the trees. In the same bed as the trees, we planted those vegetables. So that means that it's like a forest situation. So the soil is completely covered with plants, but no weeds will come up there. And then you start harvesting from there. But in between the 3 rows, we got 3 canals or beds, raised beds with vegetables. For instance, we planted 3 beds of sweet potatoes. We planted a lot of watermelons. We planted 1,000 seeds of watermelons, and also 2 beds. And in between also sweet potatoes again. And so you can choose from different crops.
Is that area we're looking down right now where the cattle are?
Sorry?
Where you plant the melons and the stuff? Is that the stuff in between the rows of trees where like the cattle are standing? Like where we're looking down right now?
Yeah,
Yes, because
in a film, yeah.
once basically the trees are high enough to
Yeah, but
start
it's
bearing
different
their fruits,
situation.
we can start putting the livestock into the system, and then the veggies kind of go out.
Yeah.
So you're doing everything. I mean, you're going to get all sorts of crazy products, which means you're going to be hiring and producing jobs for the local economy.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like it is an ecosystem of all sorts, economic.
And also think about healing products.
Oh yeah.
Medicinal.
But healing herbs and plants in there.
And then also too, you can you can plant timber as well. That may take 10 to 20 years, but that's a pretty nice little payoff at the end, if you will. With could be mahogany or something like that grows over time, where provides a good return for the community at down the road.
Right.
Now, how does hemp deal with something like this? If you wanted to add hemp in, is hemp a negative on a farm, or is it
Roland, did you hear the question?
No.
He asks, how does hemp do in the system?
And hemp is emergent. As we we divide, or we recognize 4 different basic layers. It's based on their demand for sunlight. So hemp is a
Robin,
that
a little bit
full
north.
spectrum of sunlight.
What's up?
Means that in our system it's called an emergent.
Oh.
Sorry, there's somebody
Gone from the road.
talking here through it.
Did we lose him?
So
We're
that means that
losing you a little bit there.
must be the
I think there's a lot
layer.
of background noise.
Yeah, there is. And I know, I think they're at the place where we're doing the next farm, aren't we? And it's kind of a resort. So
Yeah.
the noise is driving me a little
Yeah,
crazy.
but somebody
you
was
know.
talking to one of us.
So on the economic
Okay,
side
but
of this project, do you guys usually see return within the first 10, 5, 2 years? How quick do you guys usually recoup the cost that you actually put into the project with your own labor and investments?
Well, and this is Tim. So, you know, I guess fortunately for this, you know, we've had the land basically donated by one of our key farmers, Klarvin, and I know he and his family are big into farming on Curacao. So they donated the land, which is great because that's usually, you know, I would say your main cost going into something like this. So we have that covered. I think fortunately, Klarvin and Roland know a lot of people out there too. So you should see some of our video. And it was about a month ago when we kicked off our initial edible food forest, just about a month toward the end of June. And if you see pictures and video of that, there was a bunch of volunteers. So we had a lot of people helping out. We're looking to pay some of the workers through the first several yields of the product. And, you know, look, with all of that being said, the land donated, the volunteers and everything, it wasn't a real large investment. You know, we put in, you know, sort of the bulk of the money. It wasn't a lot. And, you know, we think this is going to yield, again, about 3 to 4 times that of a monoculture farm. And so the sustenance there and everything, and again, volunteer work and all that's gone into it, we think is going to provide a real big return to the community. And we're excited about it. And I think our first harvest is coming up here pretty soon, and we're only about a month into it.
Well, and Klarvin, at the end of this, if he goes to a farmer's market where normally you go through and each individual farmer may have 1 or 2 items, he's going to dominate. He's going to take over a whole row.
Yeah, exactly. And not only are we going to sell the harvest, we're also going to use them for charitable outreach. Like in the form of meal packages or like Christmas dinners for the people that need it the most, who have, for example, children. And aside from the charitable outreach, we're also looking to educate mainly children on the concept of food forests, so everyone can start growing their own food.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll change the paradigm of
Definitely.
sustenance.
It gets people out of their basic necessity needs and into their self-development state, if you go at it from a Maslow perspective.
Yeah.
Now PAC Global is also involved with cryptocurrency. So somehow you guys are tying this project into crypto. Is that correct?
Well, PAC is actually a pretty old coin. It's been around since 2014. And then at some point we did basically a community takeover with new management. And then we decided that 5% of all of our proceeds are dedicated towards charity. And I did a lot of charity in the past. We were attending to Caracas, citizens in Venezuela in Caracas. We have a team on the ground there, as well as we were doing airdrops of cryptocurrency to Venezuelan refugees in Cucuta, Colombia. And they could use the airdropped cryptocurrency to buy essential goods and medicines at street merchants whom we've provided with tablets.
Yeah.
And then we were actually starting to plan to clean up very filthy and polluted land so we could upcycle the plastic and then plant fruit-bearing trees to take care of citizens. And then one thing led to another, and I met Roland, and he was like, you shouldn't just plant the fruit trees, you should make a whole system. And then he started explaining me everything up to the point where the ground even provides more sustenance. Like if you have a monoculture and the ground keeps sucking everything because there's one crop that has one need of like vitamins and minerals, at some point that runs out, and then you have like basically a saturated ground that delivers fruit that has nearly no minerals. But in a system as this, the ground is so nutrient and vitamin rich that the harvest will end up the same. So your sustenance is going to be much more nutrition and also of much better quality in the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I know your question on PAC Global, and just wanted to say, really we're thought of, and my company is a major investor in PAC, and basically we're a blockchain network. So without getting into too much detail on that, the power of the blockchain is in decentralization. So it's not owned by one or two entities. It's owned by the community, and it's spread out. Whatever information you want to keep on the blockchain, if it's your personal information or anything else, it's spread out. In our case, you know, we have almost 10,000 what they call master nodes, which simply put is a computer attached to the network that keeps a copy of the blockchain in real time. And so PAC Global is, first and foremost, they're all about the network. And depending on the day, I think today we're the third largest blockchain network in the world. That is,
Yeah, these are facts.
That utilizes, of course, that's all I talk in. No, he had to verify, he had to fact check me, guys.
No, I was like, I should have said I vouch for that.
No,
I can vouch for that.
Well, we're in an election year, so it's all about fact checking. I get it, but
Elections make them
yeah. But we're the third largest master or blockchain network based on master nodes that utilize what they call proof of stake technology. And what we're doing, and you probably say, well, what does PAC have to do with this? Besides Robin being the head of charity at PAC, we're also looking to basically monitor, verify, and report everything that happens on the farm up into the blockchain. So what that means is, you know, we have a great platform to see how the progress is going on our initial and our future food forests that we're working on. And basically, you know, it can be information like how many types of plants we planted, how many plants, when they're coming up to harvest, you know, what the harvest was. And I think we're going to use kilograms since we're over in the metric system in Curacao. But again, the power of the blockchain is a way to really monitor, verify, and report to see how we're doing on the farm. And that's where PAC Global comes in. I like to call it digital currency because cryptocurrency kind of has you know, there were a lot of stuff that happened a few years ago, but, you know, we do have a currency as well, like you guys mentioned. But for me anyways, the real power of PAC Global is us being the third largest blockchain network in the world that utilizes master nodes. And we think that's pretty cool to have.
So it's unmutable, transparent data on your farm.
Yes, the unmutable stuff is very important.
I like it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're mixing the crypto world with agriculture, which is, from my crypto perspective, is kind of the foundation of an economy, is the agriculture. And,
oh yeah.
Well, the production, I really think that's perfect.
The production,
that's
whether your production's in agriculture or if because of your location, your production is going to be in textile goods, whatever. But to base the cryptocurrency in a mode of production, I think is a good idea.
Thank you. I don't know if I cannot share my screen. I tried, but I put a link into the chat where we put a test of what we're looking to measure onto the blockchain.
Okay, and I am going to share that right now.
Awesome. It's called the IPFS blockchain.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Now, if I may, you're also talking about volunteers for your farm, which I think is a pretty cool idea for kids that want to get involved in something that gives back to the economy and get to travel and things like that. Is there also a link that you could provide for people who would want to volunteer for such projects?
Yeah, definitely. Normally they just contact Roland van Reenen on Facebook.
Okay. I will have, if you guys will send me your information, I'll make sure it's in the show notes also. So there'll be a place that people want, if they want
Yeah,
to.
that's like the interesting thing of like your question is interesting because we are planning to set up food forest in different countries, and we don't have the amount of volunteers in each country that we had in Curacao. We have to, after this one in Curacao, we're planning to go to Nigeria. Was it? No, wait, we're gonna go to Kenya next. Then we're gonna do a big plot in Jamaica. And at the same time, Lieberland wants to set one up in Haiti. And for all of those, we need to kind of draw in local volunteers somehow. So if people are interested, they could definitely reach out to either Roland or to me. But I also have a cool other link that basically shows the volunteers working together during our, let me pull that up really quick, during our tree planting event. It was 2 days long. And one of our partners, that is the royal family of Austria, they're called the Flame of Peace, shared it on their official broadcasting channel.
Now, this is the Habsburgs, correct?
Yes, the Habsburgs. I just put it right below the other link. It kind of looks like one big link now, but you could probably, it's called broadcast-tv.org.
Okay. Yeah. I've got it right there.
And that's a video we made, well, because we made a video with each partner's logo, basically, because they're all involved. We're a charitable alliance called the Trees for Peace Alliance.
All right. I'll make sure we have links. Yeah, that's a Habsburg's crest, right?
In the end, you can see me talking German. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Let's play it. Let's play it.
All right.
Can you expand it?
So it looks like you got is that corn?
And beans. And that's Roland.
There's Roland.
It was a mango tree.
Mm.
It looks like Bitcoin Cash sponsored a little something there.
So Lieberland actually wanted us to put on the Bitcoin Cash logo because of their close ties with Roger Ver.
Right.
Roger Ver loves Lieberland, so it was a request by them.
And then Litecoin too, if you recognize that.
Yes, the
that
Litecoin
logo.
community is also on there. Do you guys by any chance know Johnny Litecoin?
I do not.
So he's basically a very prominent member in the Litecoin community who is very fond of what we're doing.
Grüß Gott, meine Damen und Herren. Ich bin Robin Matthes von PAC Global. Bei diesem essbaren Waldprojekt geht es darum, das weltweite Hungerproblem zu lösen. Bei diesem Projekt geht es um Zusammenarbeit, Freundschaft und weltweite Frieden. Ich bin entschlossen, Bäume für Frieden zu pflanzen auf die ganze Welt. Ich wünsche euch einen schönen Tag.
Genau.
Hey, you did good.
Genau. Ja, ich spreche vom Sprache.
From a guy who speaks no German, that sounded very German to me.
I talk 5 languages.
Really? Now, where are you from originally?
Here, Curacao. Curacao is a local language called Papiamento.
So
And
you're from Curacao.
the schooling system is in Dutch. So my dad's from Germany, and I speak English and Spanish.
Okay. So now, is Curacao a part of the Dutch Indies?
The Dutch Caribbean is what they
Or
call
the
it.
Dutch Caribbean, yeah.
Yes, it used to be called the Netherlands Antilles, but that kind of broke apart a couple of years ago. 2010 was it?
I know a kid who was just on his Mormon mission down there. Yeah, he just
Not a bad place to be, huh?
No, he loved it. He loved the people. He absolutely loved it. And then when it was over, he got sent back here because of the pandemic, and now he's somewhere stateside.
Yeah, people are really laid back here because we don't have to prepare for any winters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
24/7 growing season, huh?
That's got to be nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just wanted to
Yes.
mention as well before I forget, but the reason we were attracted to this is, it wasn't something Roland or Klarvin or Robin or myself, invented or came up with. And as Robin mentioned earlier, really taking the best practices found in nature, and there's kind of a godfather to what they call syntropic agroforestry, Ernst Goetsch. And what was really interesting is what he did down in Brazil. It was basically an abandoned timber farm, and the soil was beyond repair, I think most people thought. And this was around 1983, 84. And he got in there and he basically rolled out his syntropic agroforestry platform, a better way to do things. And again, replicating what the lush organic Brazilian rainforest did. And over time, Mr. Goetsch, he's been able to show he gets 3 to 4 times the yield, again, of a regular single crop farm, with all the other benefits we've talked about earlier, and making it truly organic. And so, look, it's adding a little bit of human knowledge to what nature does best. And especially in this kind of strange times we live in, where, who would have thought there'd be shortages of food here, even in the US. And it's really the top of a lot of people's mind now. How do you feed communities? And if we can just do our small little part of that in Curacao to start, and then roll that out into other countries that really need it, I think it's a good model that's scalable to larger acreage. And it's just really key is assembling a team out there that wants to help as much as we do, and work hard on it. And we think we're already showing it can be replicated. And maybe, Robin, you can mention, I know it's a little loud where Roland is, but if you want to mention how much, maybe not just how many people came out, but what the interest was just when we kind of broke ground on the farm there in Curacao about a month ago.
So the people that came out on, especially the first day, I printed 32 shirts with everyone's logo, and I ran out of shirts on the day of. So that's how many people showed up.
More.
And it wasn't just volunteers who we just like tried to pull in there. They were literally people that loved the work and were there to learn. They were eager to learn, and how all of this syntropic agroforestry goes into practice. Like, you can read as much theory as you like, but you also have to put it into practice, right? And there's always a bit of a gap between theory and practice. So all of these volunteers first got like a bit of an explanation of about an hour by someone called Daniel, who owns the first syntropic agroforest in Curacao. And after that, they went to work, and they worked all day. And it's amazing how much work went into the ground that day. And then the next day, there were another 20 to 30 volunteers, and they just kept coming in and out all day. It was, without them, it would have, if we would do it as a group of like 5 people, that would have cost us maybe 2 weeks to do. And with them, we did it in like 2 days.
So pretty much what you had to do is just print out the stuff for the shirts and say, I don't have shirts. I just have the iron-ons.
Or get more shirts next time, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't expecting more than 30 volunteers, but Roland gives these courses for syntropic agroforestry. And he knows a lot of people, and they're pretty expensive courses as well. So if people can get a free course even, they would love to come. That's why it's also a reason that they all showed up.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's people investing in their future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's extremely important. That's a big, important message that not only do we need here in the States, but worldwide, is people taking self-ownership, taking responsibility of their trajectory in life.
And just to learn how to farm. I mean, how many of us don't know how to farm?
Yeah.
I'm almost embarrassed to talk about my garden.
I think I make up 4 people who don't know how to farm.
Well, you can start small, I think, just a little patch in the backyard, get rid of some of those stones.
Yeah.
But you know, just you can start out small and grow from there.
Hey,
Start mulching it up. Mulch up the place.
I can grow crabgrass. I can grow goat
Goat
heads. I can grow foxtail weeds. They grow like those go gangbusters in my backyard.
Do you water them?
Most people in Utah don't realize how alkaline the soil is here. And, well, for those of us who drink coffee, I take my coffee grounds every day religiously, kind of like my like, you know, ode to nature. And I throw them out there on my lawn, and I try to give a little acidity to my soil and back to nature. 'Cause you know, you don't want to waste that organic matter. It's actually pretty precious. I'm learning that.
Yes,
as I
it
go.
is. Yes, it is. Yeah, I should start mulching and start a farm out back. That should be next on my goals.
You know, it's funny. We spoke with somebody from Utah probably about 45 days ago, around there, I think. And he had his own farm pretty much set up. He was all fired up. He said he had to disguise it a little bit from the neighbors because he was doing like a real farm in his backyard. And
Yeah,
he was talking.
Probably in the city. You have to be careful. Out here, you know, you could have a 1,000th of an acre and have 80 chickens on it. No one cares. We're out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. Well, that has its advantages.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So cool.
So what about investing in this project as like a normal individual out there in the economy? Say one of our listeners is like, I want to get involved. Can someone invest in it? Or
Oh, definitely. But there's multiple ways to get involved. To invest in it, we have already set up our own 501c3 that should be finished up in about a week. But right now we're also tied to Liberland's 501c3. We made a Trees for Peace page. Let me pull that up really quick for you guys. And sharing the link right now.
Okay.
So here you can literally donate to the project. It'll get sent straight to us and it gets deducted from your taxes. And aside from donating, charity is their project. So you need everything a project has normally, the charity project has too. You need project managers, people that help out with the strategy, people that help out with operations, people that provide resources, people that provide funding, people that do PR. Like, even if you're pushing out our videos, or even if you're pushing out the link from Liberland or the 501c3 we'll have up in about a week, everything helps. You don't have to donate money, but it's more than appreciated and welcome.
and I see you can donate cryptocurrency to the project
Yes.
as well.
Awesome, right?
I like donate fiat. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, get rid of all of the fiat.
And then also too, you know, look, if they really like what we're doing, you know, there is the PAC digital currency as well that is powered by the PAC blockchain network. So we trade on a few different exchanges. They can Google that, PAC Global or PAC Coin, PAC, and they can you know, become an owner in PAC as well if that's what they so choose.
Yeah.
So lots of ways to get involved.
Here, let me share what Tim just told you. I'll share the link for that as well. It's the coin market cap to the
You're
PAC
the
Global
link. You're the
digital
link
currency.
guy today.
Yeah, I'm linking everyone up.
Hey, that's awful nice for
And
me.
we'll put up all your links too after the video and make sure they're accessible to our audience.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah, this will be in all the show notes. So anyone listening, if you want to get involved, if you want to get invested, or if you just want to research some more, we're going to have some links up. All right, so let me share this. All right, there it is right there. This is PAC Global. This is on a crypto.
Coin market cap.
Yeah. Okay. Coin market cap. So
you can buy a lot of these coins for very little money at the current moment.
At the current moment, yes.
But I'm suspecting that after these farms get up and running, that's going to increase the value of this coin and promote it correct?
Especially when we start doing charity.
Yep. Yep. And there's other products that have already come out from PAC, and I'm sure some things the development team are working on that perhaps aren't out there in the public domain yet. But there's, again, charity is a big piece of PAC Global, and then there's kind of some other areas that they're working on as well that is more kind of blockchain driven. So stay tuned. There's going to be hopefully some really good news coming out soon.
Yeah.
Well,
Like I said, 5% of our business is charity. There's still the other 95%. And that's fully in development and being worked on actively behind the scenes. And stay tuned for more to come, because there's some awesome stuff that is developing behind the scenes.
Can you say that in German?
9.
Eis, Weit, Drei, Diga.
Hefeweizen.
Laufen.
Yep.
How many
Orphan
PAC
leader.
coins do I need to make a master node?
500 grand. Oh no, 500K.
500K.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
500,000.
And again, we're nearing, I don't know if we've passed it yet, but we're darn close to about 10,000 master nodes. And I just read this, I didn't even know, and again, we're one of the larger investors. Our nodes are located in nearly 30 countries. So when you talk decentralized, is it a true decentralized network, meaning it's not in one or two locations? For us especially, that's really all I can speak to. The answer is yes. And again, nearly 30 countries, pretty impressive. And we keep growing the network. The size matters in blockchain, and having a big distributed network and decentralized network is really important. And we think that's where, in addition to the wonderful charity things we got going here, the network is really where the value is. And again, we think a lot of great things will be coming down the pipeline here.
I like that you guys have stepped outside of our glorious, lovely overlords, and you're just making stuff happen. You're just taking care of stuff on the ground as you need to, and you're not groveling at the feet of our betters.
Yes, they're like doing actions speak a lot louder than words.
Yes.
And the moment we started really planting the farm, the moment we really had the footage and people could see what we were busy doing instead of us telling them what we were planning to do, you really noticed a shift. And people are like, to our videos, the average response is either we love it or it's really refreshing after all of these burning buildings lately.
Yeah, and look, one lesson I'm taking from the lockdown and everything, and it's been pretty tough here in California. I know Utah opened up a lot sooner than we did, but
I don't think shut down except for the cities.
Yeah, I mean, so you guys are doing something right there. But look, I mean, a big lesson for me is you gotta, when times are real tough, you got to be self-sufficient, and you can depend on one person, and that's the person in the mirror. And look, if you have a way, and we're not saying we're going to solve the hunger issue, but if you can make a dent in it, and if you can provide enough sustenance where, God forbid, you get another pandemic or an emergency or something like that, and you have at least the ability to create your own foodstuffs to a certain degree where you can be sustainable for a while, that's pretty powerful. And I think that that goes in a lot of different areas where you may not be able to count on the people you thought you can count on, either public service or what have you. Just, it may be no fault of their own, just a sign of the times where, again, shelves could be bare, and in these areas we're going into Curacao and other places, if you could provide at least a partial solution to some of that, self or over reliance on other parties, heck, we'd love to be able to play our part in providing some of that.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Now I do have I have a question for Roland. How
He's
does
muted.
Yeah. Well, how does grain work into this? Can grain be grown safe for brewing beer?
In our case, we grow corn. That's a grain also. But in this region, in our climate, we don't grow too much grain varieties. Sorghum and corn grow here.
Okay.
It's too dry for rice, but maybe we can try it after a few years when the soil is more covered, more saturated with water, and we could try it. But these are the varieties we can grow here.
Okay.
Not like wheat or those things.
So maybe up here,
It's possible.
when you come up here and start a farm, maybe we could add grain in there just for beer purposes, not necessarily.
That's
That
nice.
sounds
That would be very
important.
nice. Yes.
It does sound important.
Yes.
Yeah, you know,
It can be included in the system. Yes.
we have to work it out so you can make a good IPA.
Yes.
You know, it's got to be fruit tree, melon, grain, melon,
Coffee.
Yeah, coffee. I forgot that. Fruit tree, coffee, grain, melon, and then hop, and then melon, then grain, then
Yeah.
fruit tree, then pot. Yeah.
You know what's it?
Fascinating to see if Roland could get something going in a desert like Utah, because this would be a very challenging environment to do agriculture. I've been trying to make my garden flourish for years here, and I'm not like great at it, but I'll tell you what, Utah, coming from New York, this is a challenging soil to work with.
We grow a lot of alfalfa, and a little bit of wheat.
It sounds like an invitation.
It is.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, well, some people call us the driest state. And that may be part elevation, part,
Religion.
Great Basin. Well, yeah, we definitely are the driest state that way, but I'm doing my part to change that.
Can I say something about that? About what you just said about the desert? When we got the lessons from the two Brazilian experts that came to Curacao, they say one very intriguing sentence. They say in order to plant food, in order to get water, you have to plant food. You have to plant plants, a lot of plants, a lot of dense planted plants. Then you'll get the water. So it's not like most people think you need water to get your plants started. No, they say it's just the other way around, and they proved themselves right after the results we got here from the irrigation drop down.
Now I
So
know
that's a very interesting viewpoint for the deserts also.
apples do well up here, so that could be
Yeah.
one of our
I would like to review the situation there and try something. So if you can send me an invitation, I'd be more than willing to go after COVID, of course.
yeah, after COVID, you come
I think we can go past Aruba, right? Or
Well, you got to tell Roland there's a beach out there, though.
Yeah,
he needs a beach.
You got to convince him of that.
Salty beach.
there's the Great Salt Lake.
Oh, you're right.
The beach is long, and there's should we call it wildlife on the beach in the form of brine flies as far as the eye can see, and it smells like death, but
Ooh,
there's water, kinda.
that's good enough.
You won't sink in it. It's thick. It's like,
You can chew it.
yeah, it's like a 5-year-old made Kool-Aid thick, but it's yeah, it's salt, but come on up.
Yeah.
We'll go fishing, and then we'll plant some
Trees for
a beer farm.
Liberland.
An apple.
Trees
I
for
like the
peace
idea.
around the world. Trees for peace and friendship.
I've got an idea. Let's plant a farm where everything in it is focused in on making a beer.
Yeah.
You can make apples. You can add apples into the beer, so we could have the apple tree.
The beer farm.
Yeah. Well,
And-
sorry, go ahead.
No, and just make a beer farm and just sell it on that.
I was having discussions. Kind of funny you bring that up. So a friend of mine, his family down in Mexico, they have a lot of farming area, and they're doing some farming, and they're only in one of the 2 states in Mexico that the blue agave is certified tequila once they process it. It's Jalisco, where they're at, and I forget the other one, but that's one of 2. And so had some preliminary discussions with them where, so they grow the blue agave, and I think it takes about 8 or 9 years to fully develop, but a lot of the farmers sell it after 5 because that must be where they make the most of their money. And then they turn it over to the distilleries who will buy up as much as they can grow.
Oh, yeah.
But in between the blue agave plants, you basically have dirt. These farmers aren't growing anything. So that's something, again, early discussions on, but, we can go down there. And again, the world is our market. We can't go everywhere and be everything to everyone. But, if we can show them a way where they can grow these different plants in between the blue agave, which is a huge cash crop, and then have it set up where they, again, over time don't have to have pesticides and fertilizer and things like that, that farm that's producing X amount of dollars in terms of the agave plant can be, who knows, maybe doubled or tripled by adding these other crops there. So there's a lot of that opportunity there where you go to, existing monoculture farms and be able to add in these different plants if the situation is right for that.
Yeah, well, and if it improves the soil, that saves you costs on fertilization. If it improves the water situation, that saves community. I don't see a problem, and I don't think right now the big issue I could see is industrial equipment involvement, but I don't see how you can't plan for that industrial equipment still being able to be used, whereas you planned your spacing and your rows and
Yep.
so you can still manage that where I mean, even as far as the nut trees, when you need one of those nut shaker trucks, you can still plan all that out and make it happen.
Yeah.
And also, oh, go ahead.
No, I agree. And even if this turns out to be a niche, a niche play where, maybe it doesn't, maybe it's a little difficult, for, a 10,000 acre farm in Iowa, okay, where, you really have to have the heavy machinery. And again, I agree where you can plan it out where a lot of that'll work. But, even in the smaller areas, it can be a real good niche player and kind of complement those traditional farms as well, in my opinion anyways.
I like the idea of, let's make a beer farm. Let's at least get us
It's
barley,
definitely original
and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, we need barley, we need wheat, maybe some oats, because I like a good stout once in a while. We need hops. Away we go.
A craft beer farm.
Yeah.
They never go
higher end.
Yeah, well, we don't want to make Budweiser because, I mean, I like my
You're more of a Bud Light guy?
I am not a Bud Light guy. Bud Light's not even good enough to be sold at McDonald's. I'm just
yeah. But we could have all these different farms, the craft beer one, I don't know, a high-end salad, whatever you throw in there.
Next to each other, yeah.
All that different stuff.
Yeah. I like what you guys got going on. Is there anything else you want to draw attention to? I'm going to throw all this in the show notes so that anyone that's interested in becoming involved on whatever ability and level, they can find you guys easy. Is there anything else you want to throw in there? Is there any upcoming?
Maybe Klarvin has still some thoughts he would like to share. He didn't speak a lot during the interview.
Oh, he didn't. Now, Klarvin, Klarvin is the owner of the farm, correct?
Yes, he's the landowner.
Okay.
Yes, I'm the landowner of the farm, and yes, we have some thoughts now. Like yesterday, we met someone who have 500 hectares sweet potato in Colombia, and this man want to donate to us 1 hectare of sweet potato, so we can plant stems. So we can plant the stems in 1 hectare, and so that's our the plan. we are having now. So we have begun with the Syntropic system, and we are going to mix all the knowledge we have, so we can plant an example this the beds from the three beds. We will plant one tree bed, and then we will plant an example three beds sweet potato, and then one bed, then three beds sweet potato, and in the sweet potato bed we can plant also a lot of vegetables like peppers, sweet peppers, tomato, but they they have to they have to be the same time cycle as the sweet potato. So if we
Okay,
are
to
put
dig
sweet
the sweet
potato in
potato
three
up.
months, we have to like plant vegetables that we can harvest in maximum 3 months. So we are going to make 1 hectare sweet potato farm with the Syntropic system. So we are going to make a sweet potato farm. So we are going to base on the sweet potato, but in the meantime, we will focus on the Syntropic system, on the banana trees, on the other fruit trees. So that are the plants that we have. We have 5 hectares land. I I have 1.7 hectares land. I have 3.4 hectare lands from my family. So we are going to mix those lands so we can start with 2 hectares syntropic system, and in that 2 hectares syntropic system we will find the 1 hectare sweet potato system in the meantime in the syntropic system. And these plants we have to grow, and maybe in 5 years we can have 20 or 30 hectares with syntropic system in Curacao.
And this is in Colombia.
No, it's the person's from Colombia. He's originally from Curacao, but he has 3,000 hectares of land. It's like 7,500 acres of land
Yeah.
in Colombia. And he literally wants to donate to us an entire 2.5 acres of F1 grade sweet potatoes. And he is also enrolling Klarvin as well as Roland into a post harvesting course where they basically, after you harvest it, how do you treat it for it to become like preservable for a longer time, and also that you can ship it internationally. They had this whole explanation with that you put it underneath a bed of cotton that raises the temperature, and then you have to go down again in temperature. There's all kinds of procedures that make sure that your fruits are like premium quality, and he's going to be a very big ally for us going forward.
You're getting the mad scientist involved in the farming. I like it.
Jawohl,
Yes.
veel
Yes.
passiert hinter die beeldschermen.
I like. Are you
There
guys?
he goes again.
No, that's it. You asked me to translate. That's happening behind the scenes.
Are you guys? Are you guys doing soil samples to see what vegetables and fruits put what in the
Yes.
ground, so you can do some maybe scientific planning arrangements next?
Yes, we
Yeah,
are doing
that
soil samples periodically, and we're also the guy that came yesterday can actually help us to have these soil samples researched. The one that wants to donate, because he's very, very far ahead in the agricultural area. He is a sweet potato expert, and now he, for starters, likes us pioneering the food forest concept, and he also wants to do good in Curacao. So it's a perfect combo. I
Yeah.
also think Klarvin wanted to say something.
yes, I said that we are using organic soils. So we are using soils that never have used pesticides on them. So that's a start that we know the soil is organic. And then we have to make the samples so we can know, an example, the pH from the ground, from the soil, etc.
I like it. I like what's going on there.
Klarvin has the Liberland logo on his shirt. Can you see it?
He's in the dark right now. Klarvin, turn so that we can get some light at you.
Can you film your shirt, Klarvin?
Yep. Yes, he does.
Some light, maybe.
Live and let live, huh?
Yeah.
He's representing.
Yes,
There.
maybe now
Yeah.
you can see better.
Yes.
Yes.
sir.
Me with Roland.
Yeah.
We are now on the beach at Porto Marie. We
Yeah.
just finished work in the forest and we came to
Beach.
to the beach to join the meeting.
Man, your guys' life looks rough right now. I don't know how.
I know, guys. Save me some of that.
I'm jealous.
Save me some dinner.
Yeah. Dinner on
You
the.
guys should come over.
No,
Hey,
that
Yes,
looks awesome there.
Game.
yeah.
we just ate some potato.
From the farm.
Nice.
not from our farm yet. Yes.
Yes,
No.
not from our own farm. but-
Soon.
Now, are you
Soon, yes.
going to be going to Haiti to build the Liberland farm as well? All of you guys, or
Roland mainly.
Roland?
If it's possible, yes, of
Yes,
course.
that is our wish. We want to go everywhere and be part of the building of the Syntropic system.
Be part of the revolution.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
See the world.
Tree evolution, the tree
The
evolution.
revolution.
Revolution.
So we can teach more people also.
I like it. I like it.
And now I like to add, underline that what Tim stated about self-sufficiency. It's very important in these times. I really like to underline that also, that people can be empowered by growing their own food, especially in these kind of systems, because it's the diversity of crops. So at least you can feed yourself in a very small scale already. And of course, if you want to go commercial, it's also very good possible with this system. But self-sufficiency in this time, as COVID has learned us the hard way,
Yeah.
very important. Very, very important. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It has definitely. It's not just that, but we have seen that governments commonly fail. So
Yeah, exactly.
And-
So we should govern ourselves.
Yes,
govern
correct.
ourselves
Yes.
and take
Yeah, I like that.
ownership on yourself. And
Yes,
Correct.
exactly.
And that's what we are busy with. We want to make our own concept of business of agro-syntropic forest, so that we can be our own. So we don't have to depend on the government.
Mhm.
So we can be independent.
Yeah.
So we can never fail.
That's right. Maybe you can't farm, but maybe you can put a wrench or you can build a fence. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if you can't farm, we are here to teach people the best
Yes.
practices.
yeah,
Yes,
Correct.
well, we're
exactly.
going to build a beer farm up here.
Of
Yeah, it's
course.
possible.
It's happening, guys.
Yeah.
Different kind of grains.
I love
This
the
is a separate system.
Yeah.
You're in blockchain.
Yes. Yeah. Blockchain beer. That's the next step.
There you go.
Donate beer around the world. And
That is a great idea.
You're right.
Yeah.
Also, different fruits to give your beers different flavors.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
these
And I will say this too, and may have mentioned it earlier, but and I was talking to Roland and Klarvin, and they corrected me in a good way, and I kept really referring it to sustainable farming, and Roland brought up the point. Roland brought up the point. It's a lot more than just sustainable.
If your marriage is sustainable, it's not that's a good sign.
Not very good. If you're married for 20 years and the wife says, yeah, it's sustainable, you're right. That's about a C minus, I think. You're great. But it's really what we're doing here. It's
is that what you
regenerative.
turn the rat
It's
poison?
regenerative.
This is great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
think we as people got a responsibility to undo the harm we did to nature, to the environment. And with this kind of system, you build up ecosystems, you build up soil quality, you build up soil life, you restore the original diversity of nature. Because and that's also one in the word syntropic. Syntropic means it's getting more diverse, more different species, more different. Larger crops, larger harvests. So you go from instead of entropy, which is desertification,
Yep.
like we see in agriculture. Agriculture is the main source of the main reason why lands got these turned into these deserts. And Syntropic is just the other way around. We create abundance. Abundance is our birthright. That's really what we believe in. So we're not thinking in putting a crop in a desert first. You know, you create a desert and then try to keep your crops alive into the desert, and only that crop. No, we believe in abundance. We believe in togetherness, a synergy of different crops going together, producing a lot of more food per square meter than if you put a single crop on there. So
Which
the
means
whole
profit.
concept of scarcity should be out of business. That's we got it long enough, and that's the thing which especially governments and power institutes can how you say blackmail us, you know. But if there's abundance, there's no reason to be blackmailed, because we got it already. We got plenty of food,
Exactly.
plenty of sources,
No longer need to worry
resources.
about a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's regenerative. We're improving
Yeah.
the soil a lot, and as Roland mentioned, syntropy really, you know, species working together, not fighting for scarce
Yeah.
resources, which happens in
Fighting
nature. You know?
yes, the fighting happens when the system is out of balance, and that's the reason why in normal agriculture, I call it normal agriculture, you create an imbalanced system. You create a desert and you put up a single crop. That's an imbalanced situation. So that means that nature tries the best to restore diversity, and it will come in with weeds, it will come in with pests, because those crops are not healthy. So pests are called in to get rid of those crops because they're not healthy after all. Only the healthy species should survive. So, but if you create a system that is balanced, then all those things are out of order. Of course, there are pests in the system, but the pests will never rule because the system is in balance. Only in a disbalanced situation there the pest will rule. So it's a different, it's completely shift of your mindset. You know, the thing of scarcity, the thing of competition. These are things of the past, outdated in this system. This Ernst Gotch, like Tim used to say, the founder of let's say, the founder of Syntropic agroforestry says, unconditional love is the main source in nature. So working together and unconditional love.
I like
And
it.
if you see this system, you see it. If you study the system, I mean, you will see it. There's no competition. There's working together of species if you do it rightly.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You're putting plants that not only do they complement each other on their growth, but they complement each other on their death.
Yes.
And add things into the ground that feeds the plant next to them, and vice versa down the line.
Yeah, you must say,
Very well said.
Yes, a plant, for instance, the banana tree. The banana tree takes up potassium all its life. If we cut down a banana tree and give it back to the earth, you know, so that nothing is lost. Normally, the banana trees get out of the system, put somewhere else, and so it means that the potassium is lost. So you have to bring in chemical fertilizers to add or to balance that situation by taking out the banana tree. But we give the banana tree back to the system, like in nature. Nature, everything is recycled, so we do it also. There's no loss, there's only building up of nutrients and materials in the soil.
And
so we're getting more diverse, sorry?
For that potassium, further down the line, you've got to clear land, you've got to build a structure, you got to chemically change all that just to get that potassium in to replace that one banana.
Exactly. But the banana will give it back to the system because, you know, a banana tree will give maybe 4 or 5 offsprings, and we only need 2 of those offsprings. So the other 3 are volunteering to cut down and be giving potassium back to the soil. And not only potassium, also a lot of moisture. Because a banana, if you cut down a banana tree, it's completely filled with water. The water is nearly splashing out of the tree if you cut down the tree. It's completely full with water. So we give that water also back to the earth by cutting the tree in half and put the open side on the soil. So slowly it will irrigate the potassium-rich moisture back into the soil.
You got to cut down
an example
last year with a machete in Brazil. It was
exactly
most interesting feeling to feel how it wasn't dense. It was crisp, but it fell so easily. I couldn't believe it. It looked so thick, but it fell really quick.
Yeah.
And that was my first experience with a banana tree.
Mm.
It's more. It's not really a tree. It's like a grass. Because if you cut it, it will grow back again like grass.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
So
huge grass
So it's
variety.
kind of like maybe bamboo or something then.
Yeah,
Yes.
the bamboo is a lot tougher.
A lot
Yeah.
tougher. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also grass, same family.
Hmm. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to add all the show notes in. If anyone wants to get a hold of you guys, buy into PACcoin, or just maybe try to plan a vacation to wherever the farm,
Curacao, of
Curacao,
all places.
or here to Utah when we build the beer farm.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Invite us. We come to set it up and drink the beer after.
Yes.
Invite me when it's yield time. Sorry, harvest time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, this could be a full functioning thing. I mean, you've got corn and we could throw potatoes in there and make vodka. We could do it all.
Yeah.
A lot of
All possible.
possibilities, guys.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. But thanks for joining us today, everyone. Klarvin, I dig that you guys have donated your land for a good cause, and hopefully through this it'll not only support you but inspire the other farms on Curacao to try for a different method.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the idea, to inspire others to work together so we can make Curacao green again
Yeah.
and make the world green again.
From the desert to a tropical rainforest of food.
Right.
Food-filled tropical rainforest.
Yes. Thank you very much for having us on.
The bad puns. The bad puns are coming, I think. Must be getting late over there.
Pretty much.
He speaks 6 languages, folks. 6.
Yeah.
German, and the English, and the Dutch, and the local language, and the Spanish, and pun.
Who does?
Everybody does here.
Fun.
Everybody
Yeah.
does here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
good.
thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll share this link out with you guys once we get this video posted to the different stuff, and you guys can spread it far and wide on your stuff too.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you
we
very
appreciate
much.
it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Culture appreciate.
Thank you very much,
All right. Good night, guys.
Yes,
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks a lot.